begin the consideration of this committee's contribution to the Build Back Better Act, which will make crucial investments to create jobs, lower the cost of health care, and support America's workers and families. The American people have endured a grueling year and a half. The pandemic has claimed the lives of hundreds of thousands of family members, friends, and neighbors. Millions of workers lost their jobs as COVID decimated the economy. Others had to leave the workforce to care for children as schools moved to virtual instruction and daycare facilities closed their doors altogether. Global supply chains were upended and entire industries suffered devastating losses. But conditions would have been far worse had Congress not acted swiftly and boldly to slow the spread of the virus, keep small businesses afloat, and ensure working families receive support to stay in their homes and to afford essentials. I am extremely proud of what the Ways and Means Committee did during those intervals. This committee authored the majority of the policies that made such a tremendous difference in confronting the public health emergency and getting our economy back on track. Under the Biden administration, millions of jobs have returned. 3/4 of American adults have had at least one vaccine dose, and schools are reopening for in-person learning. But we aren't out of the woods yet. As the Delta variant tears through the nation, hospitals are packed to capacity, and there are signs the economy is feeling the effects of reduced commerce and travel as people stay home to stay safe. Congress' work to rebuild must go on. As we continue to build back from devastation, we need to do so in a way that acknowledges the long-standing shortcomings in our society and economy that were both exposed and exacerbated by the COVID crisis. The reality is that many of the hardships Americans experienced during the pandemic were merely heightened versions of challenges they faced long before the coronavirus reached our shores. Over coming days, we will consider recommendations that make smart investments to protect Americans' health and to strengthen our economy in a way that grows the labor force, empowers working families, tackles the worsening climate crisis, and we have a once-in-a-generational opportunity to make transformative, beneficial change. This is our moment to lay a new foundation of opportunity for the American people, with emphasis on opportunity. Our nation's inadequate child care options and lack of paid family leave and medical care have prevented talented workers from contributing to our economy. In several hearings and roundtables over the last couple of years, our committee heard directly from mothers and other caregivers who all emphasized that these problems are not new. They are also clearly explained with the profound returns that investments in these workers through support can supply to our economy. For example, Molly Moon Neitzel, a mom and small business owner from Seattle, spoke of how her decision 8 years ago to provide her employees with 12 weeks of paid leave allowed her to move more easily to recruit talented workers and retain valuable staff. Maintaining that policy became much easier and more affordable for her when Washington State implemented its universal 12-week paid family and medical leave benefit. She also told us of her personal struggles to find and pay for childcare while managing her business. She emphasized how a significant investment in our nation's childcare infrastructure wouldn't only help families like hers, but would broadly support the country's economic recovery, global competitiveness, job growth, and children's health and development. Today, we are proposing investments to provide universal paid leave and to guarantee access to affordable, quality childcare, changes that will benefit employers and workers alike. I thank all of those who told their stories to this committee with courage and candor and helped to advance these measures for today's markup. The committee will consider a number of additional pro-worker job-creating investments in the coming days. We propose devoting funds to support American workers, farmers, businesses, and communities that are facing hardship due to international competition. We will continue devoting resources to the Health Profession Opportunity Grants Program, which provides supportive workforce training pathways to careers in health professionals and professions experiencing a shortage of qualified applicants. And we will make historic investments in clean energy that support the creation of new, good jobs while helping to combat climate change and prepare for an increase in the extreme weather events that we all know are coming in the future. This committee is committed to helping meet the President's carbon emissions goals while creating good-paying jobs, and our 10-year full value policy accomplishes just that. The COVID crisis has highlighted the treacherous circumstances Americans find themselves in when they don't have savings set aside and an emergency strikes. The committee will take up investments to make it easier for more people to save for retirement and improve their long-term financial security. We will also extend the tremendously impactful expansions of the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit from the American Rescue Package, all while putting fairness back into our tax code. And of course, the pandemic, first and foremost a public crisis, underscored the need to get more Americans enrolled in health insurance, improve access to care, and enhance protections for vulnerable communities. We will devote funds to help more people get covered, lower the cost of prescription medications, and expand Medicare coverage to include hearing, vision, and dental care. The virus took an especially terrible toll on all our nation's seniors, and we propose an array of improvements related to long-term care facilities to keep the elderly safe at all times, especially during public health emergencies. Over the past 18 months, communities of color in the United States disproportionately suffered as well due to this crisis. I applaud our committee's Racial Equity Initiative and co-chairs Terry Sewell, Jimmy Gomez, and Steve Horsford for helping us target funds in ways that seek to dismantle discriminatory systems and promote equitable economic opportunity. This is a historic moment to make these investments. We should reflect upon what we've learned during this pandemic so that the American people will be healthier and our economy will be stronger, more inclusive, and more resilient for generations to come. Over the next few days, the Ways and Means Committee will continue our ongoing effort to ensure a better, brighter future for our nation.